knuckleheads hit the fan and we're overrun. Sending boys in the trucks with the 50 cals. Tell every swinging dick bringing extra rounds. Hang in now, boys, we're on our way. Don't send them all to heaven before we get a taste. Whoa, cry havoc, let's slip the doors away. What you gonna do?
And happy Sunday to you folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Double S Podcast here on Heroes Media Group. We're back live. We are here and kicking. Happy Memorial Day to you all. Memorial Day weekend, I should say. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. Here's a friendly reminder. On Memorial Day, we are here to give our respects to those heroes, to those that gave all for all of us, the fallen heroes. That's what Memorial Day is about. There are other days where we honor other members of the service and such, but on this day, we remember those folks, whether it was 2 months ago or whether it was 250 years ago. We remember those and we pay homage to that. So remember that while you're grilling. Remember that while you're getting together with families. Nothing wrong with taking this time to come together, but also remember to pay those respects forward. Without them, we would not be here, and knuckleheads like me wouldn't have a show like this. We have been busy out fishing. We've been doing some stuff down south. We've been trying to get some stuff going here. Our work with the Combat Recovery Foundation, we let this go the other night when we were on another show. Hang on, I've got to fix something. There we go. My head was too big. We let something go the other night. We're going to make official announcement tonight, and we'll be having some posts to add some detail. We'll put some meat on the bones of this to help you understand. The first thing I want to assure you is the True Patriot Outfitters is not going anywhere. She is solid. Matter of fact, she's been doing amazing with support from the kayak community, support from the local community, from New Mexico, from Kansas. True Patriot Outfitters, as part of running the Romans Warrior Foundation Field Ops events, she's doing just fine. And this news that I give you is not going to change that. Everything's still on track and still going forward. What's going to happen is we're going to watch our resources expand by a factor of probably tenfold. And what that announcement that I wanted to let you all know is that I have accepted a position with the Combat Recovery Foundation as their new director of programming. It will be my job to work with the program directors that run all of their programs, from archery to rock climbing to fishing to hiking, camping, all of the different programs they currently offer. It'll be my job to get those people that are running those different programs the resources and the people that they need to get the job done, to get more of our brothers and sisters involved, build our community, remove isolation, rebuild that mission and purpose. I have accepted this position very humbly. I'm blown away that they would ask me to be a part of their awesome, amazing organization. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been 5-6 years since I've had coworkers. I feel like I'm a little feral right now, so this is going to be a little different, having a team around me again. But I got to tell you, I've met all of these people, and I admire all of them for their tenacity, their intelligence, their skill sets. I can't wait to learn things from them, and hopefully I can return the favor by bringing enough energy and bringing some skills and experience to the Combat Recovery Foundation to carry that mission, continue moving forward. And meanwhile, the TPO keeps on trucking, baby. True Patriot Outfitters are going nowhere. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're getting people outdoors. Matter of fact, our programs will become some of the programs inside of the Combat Recovery Foundation. So I'm extremely excited. You'll be seeing more of that. We got a new intro lined up. We're going to be rolling out. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff. Marshall Spring, United States Marine combat veteran, is the founder of that organization. He has already been teaching me so many things and opening my mind to a whole new area of the work that we do. So it's going to be amazing. We have, as I said, the TPO just now by this maneuver and me moving into this position with them just gains even more resources for our brothers and sisters that we currently work with, and we're going to be able to reach even more of them out there. And speaking of reaching out, our guest tonight, Lieutenant Dan, is here with us. And this is a guy that we met through one of our programs. He is a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers with the union there, and that's how we connected with him. And then lo and behold, like we do when we get out fishing, we start chatting. And this guy, I'll be honest with you, we might be related somewhere down the line, because he's got that same one mission mentality, a heart that can't be contained, and just I automatically knew this is a guy we got to get on the show, man. We got to introduce people to him, his cause, the work that he's doing out there, the mission he's running, and we want to find ways to work with him also in the future so that we can expand what they're doing and vice versa. So, hey, before we get to that, let's pay some bills real quick, shall we? Every episode of the Double S, you know the routine here, folks, is brought to you by the Romans Warrior Foundation. Without Brian Romans and that entire team of the Romans Warrior Foundation and all the programs, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be here. This podcast wouldn't be on the air. I would not be where I'm at. I'd have probably be off doing something else stupid. Brian has been instrumental in the entire Romans Warrior Foundation, made it possible for us to get in this game and get this thing going. So go check them out at Romans Warrior Foundation. Hashtag helping is healing. Go to romanswarriorfoundation.org. Look at all the cool different divisions. We got the Field Ops division. There's the GWAT, the Stop 22 Tour. Another associate, a nonprofit that works with us is the Hoosiers with Hearts Disaster Relief Team. It's an amazing organization that brings healing all across the country. Of course, Heroes Media Group, Adam Hurd, all the fantastic podcasts that are on the Heroes Media Group. We're honored to be a part of them. They give us a platform to do this, to highlight things, keep things on that positive side, keep it rolling. Adam, love you, brother. And yeah, go check out something for everybody, man. Pretty much every night there's a different podcast going off, and content galore. You name it, the resources are there. You'll find it. And we are going to start something new here. We're going to start picking somebody out of our TPO sponsor group. We're going to add them to the episode as far as each one of these goes. So tonight, we're going to add in Tourney X, Mr. Dwayne Wally. We love you, brother Dwayne. Thank you, man, for all the work you do to help us out there while we stay organized and get these fishing trips put together. Tourney X, man. It's a free account you can set up if you want to get out there fishing. Sign up $30 a year, and you can track all your catches. Get your cool hero shots up there. If you're into the tournament scene, highly suggest going there. If not, it's just a cool way to kind of track where you catch fish all the way around the country. It's a super cool deal. And Dwayne Wally over there, and he and his family, they do a ton to help support other great causes out there. So, all right, that's it. Bills are paid. We got all that done. We made that. What do we got here? Yeah, I think that's, we made the announcement, Combat Recovery Foundation. Next show, you'll see the new intro. We're going to let that fly. We'll get that stuff going there. And let's see. What am I, a dope? Yeah, Milford Lake, y'all. Hey, I have no words to thank Kansas Kayak Anglers, that club. I have no words. Tim and Tony Boyden of On the Line, a fishing podcast. That guest appearance I made by being interviewed, number one, that's really cool. I actually like being a guest on podcasts. That's kind of a neat way to look at things as opposed to being the host of the whole show. But that episode there, folks, I'm telling you, when we talk about amazing people in the kayak community, these guys are the example of it down there. And this Patriot Borderlands kayak series has opened up so many new relationships. We have brothers and sisters in New Mexico now that we love dearly, that support us, that on the mission that we're going. They make it easier for us to do that. We're looking into ways that we can expand into New Mexico now, even further, because we have such great support down there. Kansas is now kicking in, going, yeah, well, we see that, and we'll bump the ante. They have helped. They have already, you know us, we're all about transparency. We have raised already close to $600, and we haven't even set foot across the border yet. Folks, I'm telling you, when you do the math on 2 campsites for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and leaving on Sunday. You look at the gas it takes us to get over there. We've got a family coming in of two. Mom and dad are both vets, and they're bringing their son in with them. We cover all their costs coming in. We're going to feed, as many as 10, 15 people or so on Friday night and Saturday night. These expenses start to add up, right? These guys have helped us basically. We are now, I believe we're already at the point where we could possibly be covering the expenses. Everything else that comes through just goes to expanding our services to keep this mission rolling. One of the anglers put a $250 donation up, and then he has said he is going to match an additional $250 from other people. And of that $250, we've already got $100, that has been kicked in so far. So I'm telling you, folks, we're blown away. Love you guys out there in Kansas. Appreciate you. Can't wait to meet you guys at Milford Lake this next weekend. We're going to be there Thursday evening. Friday evening, we'll have the meeting. I'll be releasing a video later this week on the Patriot, the PBKS channel there that'll give all the details. Don't want to miss that. Hey, if you're a Colorado angler, get your butt over there. Let's go. Go fish a new body of water for the love of Pete. Come with us. Come hang out. We're going to be at Acorn Resort. Sites 58 and 59 is where we'll be. Vets, first responders, you're fishing for free there. Just all you got to do is get yourself there. We'll feed you. Let's hang out, man. Let's chop it up. Let's have a good time. So, all right, that's it. Our guest has been patiently waiting. Let's go ahead and get the man himself in here, Mr. Dan Hurd. What's happening, brother Dan? How you doing?
Gene, it's good to see you. It's going well. Today's been a rough day, but I'm glad to be here.
Dude, I would say so. You are training right now. Folks, this guy is a wild man, all right? You were like being chased by a Sasquatch or something, and it possessed you to run how far today training?
15 and a half miles from Longmont to Boulder.
Great googly moogly, my friend. That you're an impressive dude, man. You are on adventure after adventure. So you're training for something. What exactly is that you're training for?
I'm training for only one race and one race only. I'm doing an ultra marathon, 31 miles at Burning Man. And
Dang.
I got kind of asked to do it in the previous years that I've been to Burning Man. I say no. And this year, a friend of mine, which happens to be a retired NFL wide receiver, said, "Yo, if Dan does it, I'll do it." And I looked at him and I said, "I'm going to do it just because I want to see you run more than 100 yards." I'm not a runner. I'm definitely a cyclist. And that's kind of what I'm known for usually.
Yeah.
But we met while doing a trip for on your with your mission, actually.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. Yeah, 100%. No, the whole now where help me out. I'm an old guy and I live in a cave half the time. Burning Man, where is that located geographically?
It's north of Reno in Nevada.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Burning Man is the name because that's what you do when you're out there, Dan. You're going to be running in this like ridiculous heat. But no, wait a minute. It's September. So does it actually drop below 90 degrees in September out there?
Not in years past. Well, in the mornings it is. It depends on the year. In the mornings it can be like 60s. But as soon as that sun comes up, it gets hot pretty quickly.
The smell of bacon.
They start the race at 5 a.m. I am not a fast runner. I've had a lot of injuries that we'll talk about later, but the fact that I can even run is a miracle. About 5 years ago, I could not run even a mile. I couldn't even run 500 feet without collapsing. So the fact that now I just did 15 and a half miles, a little over that. And then I'm training to get to 31 by the end of August.
Now you're in what? You're in your 30s, is that right?
Yeah, I'm 37.
Yeah.
But my body feels like it's like 60.
I was going to say with the miles you've put on, recovery days are just as important as high impact days, right? I mean, you gotta let your body build back and be able to handle this because, dog, 31 miles, that's endurance more than anything. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's just a mindset of keep moving forward. Even when you can't physically, like I physically couldn't run the last 2 miles that I did today. Um, I just kept moving forward with walking, and um, I would try to keep running, but I physically couldn't.
So what's the motivator besides your buddy, throwing down the gauntlet? What's behind this, man? What's the motivator for you that says I have got to do this and this is why?
Well, as you've seen through my social media, once I get my mind put on something, it's hard to take it off of it until I either accomplish it or at least fail like really hard, trying really hard.
Right?
And even then, I probably fail a couple times before that even happens. Um, but going into that, why I bicycled the lower 48 states. Like, how many people do you know that did that?
One.
Exactly. I know three
Wow.
um, that are not me, and I know one of them went above and beyond and did 49.
He ran to Alaska?
He went to Alaska and then he went around the world.
Good Lord.
So um, he did a pretty amazing trip for 5 years, I think it was. I did mine just in the United States for 3.5 years.
Wow. That is huge, man. And we're going to dig into that even further. You made mention that how you and I, we connected. You are a member of the IBEW and you're at the Union, 68? Is that right?
Yeah, I beat up a local Union 68.
Nice.
I've been there now for about a little over a year and a half. I'm technically a new member. I'm an apprentice, so I'm actually also going to the joint school that is also part of that to get
Awesome.
my education for the electrical field, and while working full time for a company that's part of the union companyship.
Yeah. And the TPO and the IBW, we've come together working because Zach at 111 has put together a veterans committee, and our objective is to find the vets and you're all first responders, but find the vets inside the IBW and get them to come out with us and go kayak fishing for a day. And you did. We connected up and we went over and hit up Lon Hagler there and spent a day out hitting on Lon Hagler. No,
Stanley.
no, we went to Stanley. That's right. I did the other group of the IBW up at Lon Hagler. That's right.
Yeah, wasn't it like the day after, or the day before, or something?
Yep. Yeah. The weekend before. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, we went over to Stanley Lake and it was the opening day for us. Right. We hadn't been there. We went out there, so we weren't sure what we were going to find. Started a little slow, and then we started to find him, started to hit into him a little bit. It was still, you could tell, beginning early. But dude, you hadn't been fishing in like forever, and you caught yourself a couple really nice smallmouth that day.
Yeah, I think I ended up with 3 fish for the day, but I think everybody got a little more excited because I got the first fish of the day, and I haven't gone fishing in almost 15 years.
I love it, dude.
The last time I went fishing was before I got alcohol sober, and for my mindset for a long time was I got to avoid fishing because I tied alcohol to that sport. And going out with you guys was actually really kind of a relief because nobody drank. It was just kind of camaraderie and fun times.
Yes,
and it's definitely made. So I had a day fishing pass when we did that trip. I now have my veterans lifetime pass, so I can go fishing whenever I want.
Hell yeah, dude! Tell me when we're on the water. You know you got a kayak waiting for you here with me, brother. Anytime.
Yeah. Hey, you got a bike anytime you want to come riding with me.
I'm gonna take you up on that, dude. So here's the funny thing. I actually probably would have a bike because I would rather bike than jog. I'm a former goalie for hockey. my knees are like maybe 1 or 2 games away from needing surgery, right? So it's like the idea to go out and jog, not bueno. But a bike, I would dig that. My wife, on the other hand, is like, yeah, nope, not gonna get
Yeah.
on a bike. She does. She's not a biker. She's not. That's not her thing. And so yeah, no, I'm gonna take you up on that, dude. I would love to. I suck. I mean, I'm not. I'm not gonna do no 15 miles with you. I don't think. Maybe I don't
Well,
know.
oh, 15 miles on a bike? That's easy.
I'm
15 miles, money
talking to
is
the
hard.
guy that.
I can bicycle 100 miles in a day. That's easy for me. But run 20 miles and I'm walking for a part of it and calling for my backup to get me for the last 5 miles, 4.5 miles.
I
Like
feel that.
it's a totally different thing. I'm not a great fisherman because I haven't done it in 15 years, but I don't expect you to come and be a pro at my sport.
Right, right. No, 100%. No, dude, we gotta chat because I would love to get into doing some biking here and there. That would be super cool. And it's one of the things that to combat recovery, I would love to see us be able to offer something like that too. So the more information I have, the better we can
That was
put
actually
something
going to be
together.
that was going to be one of my questions. You mentioned a lot of awesome activities through the Combat Recovery Foundation. Is
Yeah.
bicycling not one of them yet?
I don't think they have a group yet because you know what it requires is it takes somebody to run it, right? And you and I both know owning nonprofits, brother, that's the hardest thing is finding people with the bandwidth that can run. So yeah, let's get together and let's chat. Let's come up with
Yeah,
something here and let's see what the future holds. That would be badass to work together with you on that.
and I have a great, amazing bicycle company that has pretty much every type of bike that we would need and use.
That would, yeah, yeah. See, you're the dude that I need to be chatting with. So yeah, we will talk more about that. I've got already notes here on it. You, sir, are also a United States veteran. Give
I
us
am.
real quick. Tell us a little bit what branch you serve in. When did you serve, and what did you do when you were there? Who's your daddy, and what does he do?
Let's see. I served from 2007 to 2011. I was in the United States Navy.
Nice.
Um, while I was in the Navy, I worked a lot with the Marines, a little bit with the Army. Um, I worked on a ship called the USS Pearl Harbor. We were an amphibious ship. We were essentially a Marine taxi, and we took. I did 2 deployments to the Middle East. One towards the coast of Kuwait, and second we did a little bit off Iraq, and then we were redeployed to do pirate campaigns through Somalia all the way to Jordan.
Wow.
And yeah, did that for a little bit. I was in during the time era where they were downsizing the military, and I got told by a program, I believe actually by a computerized program, that I was overqualified and was told I couldn't reenlist. When I
My
joined the military,
God.
they tell you like in boot camp, if you want to make this a career, pick up rank and do a good job.
Yep.
I made a couple of mistakes early with alcohol. Because of how good of a job I did, they kind of wiped those away from me and told me not to mess up again because they would resurface. And I just did really well. I got promoted twice by my commanding officers for doing like above and beyond. And I ended up being from an E1 to an E5 in less than 3 years, just
Wow.
because of that. And I was eligible for E6 when I got out after 4 years.
Dang, dude.
Uh, so
That's
yeah,
fast
they
tracking.
picked up rank too fast.
That'll teach you. Do that damn good of a job. Get out of
Uh,
here.
but yeah, initially, the military was to me really easily achievable, and I initially planned to do 20 years.
Yep.
But life had its different plans, and ultimately, I'm glad I didn't. I'd be at 19 years right now, and almost retired. And I see some of my friends that are still in that are getting ready to retire or retiring, and I'm glad I'm not them.
Right. Dude, and
So
think about the last 10, 10, 15 years, you would have not had any of that. And I mean, that's shaped you into who you are today, man. That's huge.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I accomplished outside of that stuff, and thankfully I got to see a lot of my brothers and sisters that I served with in one form or another while I bicycled through the country. That
Wow.
was actually the motivation to do the lower 48 states. Um, and yeah, it was pretty amazing to reconnect them because when I decided to do this bike journey, I hadn't seen them in 7 or 8 years, and
Wow.
I had attempted suicide twice, and quite honestly, I was already planning on another one. But then a friend got me on a bicycle. I was mentally and physically unhealthy. I was about 270 pounds at my third suicide attempt, and um, when I got out of the hospital, I was about 250. So when my friend got me on a bike, I was about 250 pounds, and we went for a bike ride. He had tried to get me on bikes for years, and honestly, I rode motorcycles. I thought bikes like I had a very narrow-minded mindset at that time of life. Bicycles were for children.
Right?
And I had transitioned from bicycles at 14 when I went to dirt bikes, and bicycles were made for people like kids, people that lost the privilege to drive, and people that couldn't afford it. That was my
Yeah.
horrible mindset.
Right. Right.
And quite honestly, my friend, like for years, had tried to get me on this bicycle, and the running joke was like, "Yeah, right, I'll see you there on my bike." Like, with the motor. And I'd see him on bike rides, and like I love my buddy. His name's Sean Carr, great guy, um, and he he would be riding his bike to like an event that we were both going to. He would leave earlier than me. I'd see him go by, or I'd go by him, and I'd go hang out for a while, and I'd be leaving, and he'd either be showing up or still riding, and I'd see him going home or something.
Dang.
I'd be like, "How is that fun?"
Exactly.
Like that, there's no way that is fun. Like that, you're just self torturing yourself.
Right. Right.
So after I got out of the hospital and got back to work, instead of saying, "Hey, we should go for a bike ride," he was like, "Hey, we're going for a bike ride after work." So we just changed it up a little bit, and I said, "Okay." And in my mind, like initially, I honestly did it for the wrong reasons. But it was the worst. It was the best reasons to go, and it was the best reasons that got me on the bike, anyways. And it was because I was planning another attempt, and fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you with your mindset. In a good mindset, it's fortunately I was found. In the dark mindset, you're unfortunately found in those signs. But people found me every time I tried to commit suicide. So I thought being on a bicycle, spending time with a friend, I was knocking out two birds with one stone. Maybe I'd find a place that I wouldn't be found. But we did a 20-mile bike ride. During those 20 miles, I did not think about suicide. I was too busy riding a bike, having fun. And those thoughts came back pretty quickly after I got off the bike and was back home. It was just a few days later. He's like, "Hey, we're going for another bike ride. You want to go?" I said, "Okay." And we did 30 miles. And then we
Damn.
just kept doing more. And then a week later, it was a Friday night. We were going to go visit some friends at the state park down, and we were living in Carver, Massachusetts. And we were going to Plymouth. And by the time we got there were four of us. All our friends were going to bed. We got there too late.
Oh, damn.
And we had so much energy because we had just rode there, and we were mentally planning on that they were going to be partying and hanging out,
Right.
like the morning. And we were
Right.
like, "Well, we can't go to bed. Let's keep riding." So we rode to Cape Cod,
Oh my gosh.
and we did. It was like 70 something miles there, and that was a Friday night. We woke up my friend Sean's friend's driveway. Like the friend thought we were like European tourists, just like squatting in his driveway. It was hilarious. And once we figured it out, he was cool with it. We ended up just kind of hanging out for the day on Saturday. We rode to the beach, it was like 10 miles, like 20 miles round trip. And we ended up leaving Saturday. Two of our friends were like, I'm out. I'll get a ride. And my buddy Sean, he's one of those people. He's been riding bikes for a long time. At this point, probably 25 years.
Wow.
He's in his 40s, so he's probably been riding bikes longer. But he's like, nope, I told you guys every pedal out's a pedal back. And, that's where my military brain kicks in.
I was going to say, is your buddy, is he a vet as well?
No, he's not.
No, he's just fucking hardcore is what he is.
He's one of those guys, dude, that every place he moves to, he has these two, I want to say they're like 10-foot 4x4 beams with holes cut into them. And he has this giant, like 1 inch and a half bar that he slides through it and just rotates freely. And he just does pull-ups on it and hangs on it and gets his wrist really tight and does all these crazy moves on it. To the point where I started doing it, I'm nowhere near as good as he was. And I'd be horrible now because I haven't done it in 6 years. But and he also doesn't like power tools, so he'll go and do a whole like solar field with a sickle.
Wow.
And just go like this for 8 hours a day, and all right, I'll be back tomorrow after work.
Dude, yeah, guy. I've known a few of those guys. There's just a few people that are just built different, right? That are just wired a little different. Well, dude, I got
that he would have been great in the military.
Right.
But he would have hated being told what to do.
Yeah, there is that, that you got to add in.
He's like, just show me the mission. I'll tell you what I'm doing. If that was the option, he would have been perfect.
Right.
And instead of being like, you need to do this, this, and that, he's like, I'm not doing any of that stuff.
I don't need to do shit. Hey, big shout out to brother Stony Floyd out of Kansas, out of that area there south of the cities down there. How you doing, brother Stony? We appreciate you tuning in, man. Stony is actually one of the key members for us with the TPO. He's part of my national team there that's out running. He spreads the word and helps us when we go into that neck of the woods. So, yeah, super cool there.
Thanks for joining in, Stony. Definitely check out everything we're talking about.
Hell yeah. So first, I want to go back to this real quick and just kind of circle back for a few of our listeners here. What I love, Dan, is I've been saying this, and I speak to it from the civilian standpoint, right? Sometimes civilians, when they hear about the work we're doing, they get worried. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm not a vet, so I don't think I can, do any da. Well, I've been creating some content together and for speaking to try to teach them just how silly that is and how important it is for we as civilians to get involved here. And the very first thing is to stop getting the heebie-jeebies when you hear that S word start flying around. People hear about suicide. The fact that we've been running away from it and pushing it under the rug and not wanting to talk about it is why we have lost so many of our brothers and sisters out there to this fight. Dude, I just want to tell you, I am very, very thankful to God and to you that you found your way through, brother. You and I spent an entire day out there fishing, and I'm 53 years old, and I come across a lot of different types of people. Many people I consider acquaintances. Many people I consider, some people I consider friends. My real, my five, people always ask that, who are your five? I've got my five that if the shit hits the fan, I know who I'm getting a hold of. And I could easily see you as being one of those for me personally, just because of the kind of spirit you have and the kind of human being that you are, bro. You're powerful, dude, and the message you're bringing and what you're doing out there. I am so glad and so thankful that you found your way through that piece and that you've moved on to your next chapters here, because you dude, you are bringing so much to the table with those kind of messages like that. And, for people out there that, it doesn't have to be this magic, wand or whatever. It could just be, just get up, go do something, get involved with somebody, fight. In your case, God bless you. You had a friend that was like, nope, we're going for a bike ride, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go.
and Gene, even crazier is like leading up to the end of that day, there's a phrase that you probably have seen on my social media: one pedal at a time.
Yes, sir.
That phrase has become my mantra. It's my nonprofit. Um, for me, it's a way of life. And I owe that a lot. I owe that 100% to my buddy Sean Carr.
Yeah.
And he said that a lot. He'd be like, "Oh, it's one pedal at a time," and he would joke around about it. But there was and I never really listened before he would say it. You know what I mean? It would just go in one ear out the other. I never
Yeah.
absorbed it. And like I was already in AA, I was doing some NA, and they always talk about one day at a time. And in my brain, that was like, that's a long time. Like, I have to make it a day.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to make it 10 minutes?
Right. Right.
And so for me, like, it was kind of daunting to think one day at a time. So my friend, we're riding back from that Cape Cod trip, and it was just me and him. Like I said, I didn't want to leave him behind. That was the military in me. Like, I'm riding this guy's bike. Like, I'm not going to leave him by himself, even though he's fully capable. I've seen him do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do it. And I told him, I was like, listen, man, I'm not a cyclist. Like, I'm going to do my best, but you're probably going to go a little slower than you want to be. And so we're riding back, and we're probably about 40 miles away still. And my body's sore. I'm hurting.
I bet.
And so I'm complaining about the miles that we've already done. I'm complaining about the miles we still have to do, right? My friend, we're from Massachusetts, so instead of saying every other word's an F-bomb.
Yeah, what the fuck, bud? What the fuck?
So it's all over the place. And I don't swear as much as I used to, mainly because I work with kids, but
Yeah.
I was in the Navy. I'm from Massachusetts.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
have an accent anymore because I'm sober. But
I love that. From
it only comes
Boston.
out when I have conversations with certain people.
Right.
But yeah, so my friend, as nice as he was, he got tired of hearing me. And literally on the side of the road, he stops and he turns around and he goes, it's one pedal at a fucking time, left, right, a lot more F words in there. He's like, just shut the fuck up and pedal. And so, I get like, motherfucker, 5-year-old. So I start doing military cadence in my head. Like, I don't talk to him the rest of the ride.
Right.
And before I know it, like, because I wasn't thinking about the past, I wasn't thinking about the future, I was just focused on the moment.
Yeah.
That moment went by quick.
I love that, dude.
And in that phrase, he said it's one pedal at a time. And over the next few days, like, that was the only thing that kept sticking in my brain. It's one pedal at a time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And then I started connecting dots like, dude, that's way easier. One pedal is like every second. I can live 1 second at a time. It's hard to live one day at a time.
Right.
So that became my saving grace because I finally heard him.
That is so awesome, dude. Yeah. When it lands on you, when these messages come through, I've had the fortune myself, Dan, of meeting some great folks along the way that have done something similar. And by the way, let's throw this out real quick. Was Diane Studstill Smith? She says, Dan is great. Must be somebody you know there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Nice. Yes, he is great. We agree. But I've had so many, people drop wisdom on me along the way. One of the guys that two guys come to mind that it still echoes in my head. Number one, Staff Sergeant Mr. Justin Patterson, one of the first guys that just opened my eyes to things. He has given me so many nuggets of wisdom, and one of the best ones, folks, earmuffs here, because I'm not going to pull punches on what he told me. He told me, at being a civilian and owning owning a nonprofit, he looked at me. He's like, "Don't you be one of those bucket motherfuckers." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "One of those guys with the bucket that all the info comes in and it gets stuck right there, and then you just divvy it out to who you think." He goes, "You be conduit. You connect people together. Use your power to connect people. Be the conduit." And I'm like, Dog, I had no idea. I thought at the time when he told me, I'm like, oh, that's pretty wise. Yeah, that makes sense. No, dude, I had no idea how wise that was and how important that was. My role to simply connect people together and get resources or just people that have had like experiences in life, dude. No matter how much I want to, I will never be able to fully understand the things that you've gone through, right? Even though I maybe want to understand, I've not been in your shoes, so it's going to be difficult for me to carry a conversation like that. But if I can find another guy that does, sometimes it's a little easier. Then you start connecting people with like experiences, and then there's no judgment, there's no worry. You can speak your piece, and everything's cool. The second one on your tip, the one pedal at a time, brother Clay Ragsdale out of Georgia runs a veterans kayak fishing, almost a sister company to what we do up here. He does it down in Georgia. And one of their mottos is one cast at a time, right? That's basically how they approach the stuff.
It's
And I always,
in the moment.
I thought that was just brilliant that they had that out there. So for sure.
Oh, that's perfect. It's and I apply that to everything now. It's like today's run that I did. Um, I appreciate that. I just like even today's run. Like I was talking to my friend. His name's Ryan Van Duzer. He's got he's a YouTuber on Duzer TV. He's a huge ultra runner. He's the one that actually challenged me to do this ultra marathon.
Okay.
And he had no idea I was doing this longer run today. Like most of my runs are between 3 to 7 miles.
Right.
That's a lot of my training just so I can get my pace down and figure that out. And I was solid all the way to about 12 miles today, averaging about 10 and a half minutes per mile. But like, yeah, he just gives me a lot of words of encouragement, like just to just keep moving forward as that already is embedded in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's people like that I look forward to helping me get through it as well.
Bro, there's something that I've tried to instill in my kids, and it's tough to get this to sink into younger generation. But as we get older, you start to realize that there is power and wisdom in accepting the advice and understanding that, dude, it's not amazing because you had nobody around you. It's amazing when you have people around you. You know what I mean? Like being willing to hear other people's advice towards things or see what works for them, what didn't work for them, and then making your own, pathway from that stuff. Nobody accomplishes stuff alone, right? We are not an animal that is, built for pure solitude. We're tribal at our very best day, very communal, as a species, as humans. And it's a good thing, man, to embrace that community, to embrace the help from other people out there, or just listening to their stories too, dude. You know what I mean? It's like just hearing their experiences helps you grow as an individual when it comes to this kind of stuff that we do.
100% agree with that, Gene. But I will tell you, the other side of that is, you see a lot of veterans and you see a lot of missed veterans. People that you may meet but that don't actually get out there.
Right.
It takes a lot of courage for us to get out there again and be in those vulnerable situations.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we have to actually encourage it even further, just to kind of, show it as a safe space and a space that they can be themselves where maybe they haven't been allowed to be since they were in the brotherhood of service.
Rebuild
Or
community.
even, like me, like I joined the union because it reminded me so much of being in the service. Like
I love
not
it.
even the people that are in the military, just like the brotherhood. Like
Yep.
and there's always people that are not like they're in the military that are not like in that mindset. Same thing with the brotherhood. There's people that are in the union that are not totally in that mindset, but there's enough people that I see that are in there that is like, man, I feel safe here.
That's the spirit of it, is to be there, right? There may be some people that don't dig into that section, but the spirit of the union, the spirit of the military is that, that group mentality of, this is a brotherhood. It's called belonging, man. And belonging is so powerful. We freaking need it, right? I mean, it's part
Well,
of the three keys.
100% need it. And unfortunately, in the world we live in today, it's few far in between, really.
Rare. Yes,
Like
sir.
we talk about it. I know I've heard it, and I know it's said a lot. Like with the amount of technology we have, we're so connected that we're literally disconnected.
We don't need to leave the house, dude. We can get food, we can get entertainment,
Everything.
we can,
You can get a car delivered to your house without
yeah,
even ever going to see it.
yep. You can go to the doctor on your phone.
There's people that buy houses without ever looking at them physically. They have somebody that they have like a realtor go walk around
Yep.
with a camera. Yep, I'll buy it. That's
Yeah,
insane to me.
it is.
But going back, Gene, you mentioned what was the two things you mentioned? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. You mentioned my one pedal at a time. What was the first thing you mentioned
Oh,
about?
the conduit, the connecting of people, and making sure that I use my platform and my resource to connect people together. What it falls to is our third principle or our second principle, which is rebuild community. Right, start to bring back, and we're not trying to try to change the world here, but we certainly are going to start in our neighborhood, and then we're going to start in our town, then we're going to start in our state, and that's you and I, dude. We meet just because of connections I made through IBEW, and then you want to blaze a path for other guys to step up to partake in this. So we connect. Next thing you know, we're talking about two nonprofits. We're trying to spiffball ways that we can work together, that we can reach more of our brothers and sisters out there. This is what we're saying, man. This is how it works. This is the community that we build. And if we got to do it one dude at a time, we'll freaking do it one dude at a time,
Exactly.
and just keep
Or
going.
do that now. Or do
Dude,
that.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Can't forget about our lady vets.
Not at all.
But
Not at
no,
all.
like that was even we just started the veteran committee for the 68 in I believe it was December. December was my 1 year in the union. So being a apprentice, not even a journeyman yet, so I'm not a full-fledged member. Um, I in a lot of ways I don't feel like I deserve or earn being allowed in certain positions, but they've allowed anybody to join this committee as long as even if you're not a veteran, as long as you're a supporter of a veteran.
Yep.
But as soon as I saw that, I knew I wanted to be involved. That's something that I naturally like want to do is I want to be part of community and I
Yeah.
want to build community. Even though there's days where I just like tomorrow, I will probably just sit at home all day.
Dude, it's that we talked about it. It's that recharge day. It is so important to recoup, recharge. I'm with you, dude. I mean, I do a lot of peopling in my work, and every now and again, when not peopling and working for TPO or doing stuff with the fishing side, I really enjoy just like the morning I had here, which is my wife and I put sweat equity in the garden, and she is the tallest hobbit you've ever met. She loves gardening as much as I love fishing. So I got the hay off. We had prepped the ground from last year, and I put straw down to protect it. We took
Nice.
that straw back, dude. It is black, rich, and moist. The soil looked great. And just spending the morning working in the garden, dude. I'm like, did I just grow old, or is this just fantastic? The cat came outside. She was playing in the grass. I'm like, this is how I like to do a Sunday morning right
It sounds like
here.
you're living the American dream, brother.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, man. I start to pick up on those things a lot more these days. As I've been re-engaging my faith, I start to pay attention to the birds a little bit more, the bees. I'm paying attention to creation and paying attention to Mother Nature around me, and just the simple things, because that's end of the day, dude. Nobody can take that shit from you. They can take all the physical stuff away from us, but they can't take that, the pleasure of that stuff away.
They're
So,
trying though. They're
are
trying.
they? No doubt.
They're giving up a lot of that public land, brother.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah. Every time we turn
Uh,
around,
Honestly, I think that yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they're I think there's a lot happening that could prevent us from having those sanctuaries,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it's gonna go away overnight. And I think we need to take advantage of them and protect them as best as we can.
I say this all the time to people that it's one easy thing to sit around and complain about stuff that's going on out there. But at some point, and it's not done with Molotov cocktails and screaming at people, it's done with using the system the way it was designed and getting other people together and get involved, man. Start in your local community, get involved with making some change. And what we have to understand on the community side of things, this is what everybody forgets. It doesn't mean you go in going, I want this and that's the only thing I'm going to accept. Be willing to talk with people and communicate and work out towards mutually beneficial goals, right? I mean, I don't know how half of these politicians stay married, dude. I really don't. I mean, that's I got to have my way or that's
I know
it.
how they do. I know how they do. You know how they do.
Right.
Just don't talk about it.
Exactly. No, but that's the thing. Getting involved, do something about it. I love when people are energized about something and they have strong opinions. That's cool, man. What are you doing to be that? Be that change, right? Those memes that are out there. Be the change you want to see out there. Get involved. Work with other people and figure stuff out. That's
It's
the only
funny
way
that you
through
say
it.
be the change. I don't think you guys can really see it from up there, but I have
Maybe.
a sign that I carry. If you go check out my social media, Rabbit Dan USA,
Yep.
on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I have a sign that I carry a lot on my front of my bike. It says, "Make a stranger smile, be the change."
I love that.
And so, um, while I was bicycling the lower 48 states, I was coming towards the end of it. I was getting into my 44th state. I was just getting into, well, right before I was getting into Arizona. I
Oh
had a couple
man.
people join me that one of them had been following my social media and was like, I happen to be in Colorado. You're in Utah. If I get to you, will you ride with me? And I'm like, dude, I'll wait for you. Come find me. I'll wait for you in Moab.
Wow.
And we rode together for a week, and we ended up separating the day before I was hit by a car
Yeah.
um, at a very high speed. But so I had him there. There was now a really good friend of mine named Trent that saw me on social media. He came out from California to do a documentary on me, which is out
Wow.
on his YouTube. Um,
Where
and
where is that? Do you have the information on that handy, or is that something
yeah,
we
it's at Trent Sigurd, Siggard. Um,
Trent Trent?
yep.
So
And I'm
at
pretty sure you can find it on my YouTube channel. It's at least in one of the folders. Um, last time I checked, it had over a 500,000. It's the biggest video there for I think both of us.
okay, so there it is.
So it's a great documentary. He ended up postponing releasing it until I was healed from my accident and back on the road, um, because it was really emotional. It was the day before the accident that I had 4 people that were with me in some form, and they all went their own ways. Um, and I kind of stayed behind because I was a lot slower. I was carrying a camper, and the only reason I'm really alive is because of that camper
That
I was towing on my bicycle.
it took the brunt of the hit.
Yeah, yeah, it was the initial impact. So
Was it
essentially, I
just
got
somebody on a phone drinking? What the hell? Well, how did they hit you? Just not paying attention?
it was three. Ultimately, it was unknown. It was 3:30. The reason given was the sun was in their eyes at 3:30 in the afternoon. Um, on a
Wow.
straight desert road. So it was before. I don't remember the accident. Unfortunately, I don't remember 45 minutes before the accident,
Wow.
and I don't really fully remember anything until I was in the hospital a few hours later because I got med flighted.
Wow. But
So
you go through this, you get healed up, and then you
yeah,
continue on the ride, dude.
I did.
You're a freaking animal, brother.
Kind of mentioning earlier, like the mindset of me running right now. Like I'm it's a, in a lot of ways, it's for a silly reason. Um, yeah. Um, so for me, it was like a lot of, man, I lost my train of thought. Help me restart it.
Yeah, the so you go through this horrible accident, and folks, we're not talking about just go to the ER and then come home. You were in the hospital for a long time, multiple surgeries to get yourself back, and your choice would have been just take your stuff and go home, but you didn't. You got your stuff, you put it back together, and you got back on your ride, dude.
Essentially, I was very fortunate because by the time I was rear-ended, I was just shy of 18,000 miles into my journey. I was on my just crossing the 44th state of Arizona, and yeah, I ultimately uh, was told when I woke up that I may not. That initially, when I was in the operating room, like my first memory was I woke up. They were getting ready to do my first surgery, and the doctor looked at me and was like, "We're hoping you'll walk again. We don't know yet," and then put me to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
But luckily, when I woke up, he goes, "Good news, you might walk. It's probably going to take 2 to 5 years to be back to normal to some degree." And I had just rode for 18, like almost 2 years, 7 months, and I think it was 6 days when I got hit. So like I was very active, and laying in a bed for 3 days is like being like tortured mentally.
Right? Right?
I was in a lot of physical pain. I had to have multiple surgeries on both my legs and essentially learn how to walk again and bend my legs and things. But I started standing up with a walker 3 days after I got hit by a car. And
Dude, the fact that you were in such phenomenal shape probably
it saved
is
my life.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
if I was in, if I was at 1,800 miles versus 18,000 miles, I might have been dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of my physical fitness had to do really amazing help for that.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, once something's in my brain, I'm pretty
Like
determined.
a dog with a pig ear, bro.
Yeah, I see a squirrel, I gotta chase it, man.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
get that squirrel. I'm gonna die trying.
I love that, dude. I love
Um,
it.
but in reality, I was 44 states into it. I was in the hospital for pretty much 2 weeks, and then I was very fortunate that somebody, a good friend of mine, Chris, that I met in Oklahoma, bought a house in Texas and offered to let me stay with him. And he was like, stipulation is if you come stay with me, you have to go as soon as like within a month after you get approval from your doctors that you're clear. I was like, deal. Like, that's awesome. At that time, they were initially telling me it was going to take potentially, if I could ever ride a bike normally again, it would take at least 2 years. Um,
And he knew
4 months,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
4 months after, but he knew that I like he was a Marine and then he became a Army Ranger, so he's also got that mindset.
Yep. Yep.
And he retired. He did 20 years and retired from service. So and now he's into cycling. After all the time that we hung out and did everything,
Good
now
shit.
he's a gravel cyclist and racing and
Love it.
doing really awesome stuff. But so he knew that it was going to take a while, but he also knew that I was pretty determined to heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that moment, I wasn't really. I mentally didn't even think about getting back on the road because I was honestly afraid of cars.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Um, but I realized every day that I was off the road was another day that I was building that fear up. So I needed to get healed so I could finish this journey because I don't know about you, but if you had to go and if there were 48 lakes that you could go fish in Colorado and you only did 44 of the 48, it would eat at you the rest of your life,
Right?
right?
I totally get that.
So
100%.
so I ultimately decided that I needed to get on the road as fast as I could, and as soon as I get cleared, I'm gonna start physically training. And I trained for a month before I physically got back on the road, and did that in 7 months and 4 days
Damn.
with a new bike, a lot of new gear. I was very fortunate for being on the news so many times and having a, quite a few supporters in a lot of different ways, um, and just followers that would help out when I would ask. Because I wasn't, so something that was pretty remarkable about my bike journey is I did it with no money and no savings. I
Good
left with my
Lord,
last
dude.
paycheck, which ended up buying a lot of my gear that I needed that I didn't know I didn't have.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for me, it was, it was, so when I started the bicycle journey, like I was doing it for myself. I had no intentions of starting a nonprofit. I had no intentions of helping other people because nobody else was going through what I was going through.
Right.
And I quickly realized honestly, within 3 months of my bicycle journey, I was not alone. There's a lot of people like me.
Hell yes. Hell
Military,
yeah.
non-military, just like life and, whatever's going on. And oh, and that was what you mentioned before I continue on and make
Yeah.
sure you help me remember where I stopped.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something about like you're not a service member, so you don't know how to relate to
The
our events and
many
situations.
civilians feel that. Yeah, many civilians feel that, and it's so wrong.
It is wrong, and something that I want to encourage people is we've all felt the core feelings that they feel in different ways. We may not have felt it as deep as them, but we have felt sadness, we have felt anger, we have felt scared, we have felt uh, abandoned in some
Abandon.
way.
Yeah.
We have felt like
Betrayal.
betrayal. We have felt all these different things in one form or another in our own lives. So even though you haven't felt the event that they've gone through, at least you can experience and connect to them on that core level. And
Yep.
that's what I encourage people a lot to do is don't feel like you have like I don't expect everybody to gone through the events that I've gone through to connect with me.
Yep.
But if you can connect with me on the happy sides and the sad sides and realize that there's scary moments and different things like that, then you're doing a great job of connecting.
Totally.
And we've all done it. So
We always try to tell them you don't need to be a therapist to help. Okay, not at all. Matter of fact, what you need to be is authentic and present, man. Those two things. Be there and be authentic. Right. Just be who. Be. Don't try to be
100%.
something you're not. And
So
that's
I'm
a
not
great freaking start right there.
Well, I am not a licensed anything. I have
Right.
no background in education of any type with mental health or suicide, or any of those things. I don't have studies with how like psychedelics help mental health or any of those at all. All I have is my own life experiences. Um, and I've had a nonprofit now since 2019 that helps people with educating. And what I do is kind of like you is I am not the source of information. Um, I am a piece of conduit
Yes, sir.
that provides that information so that people can find it more easily. And ultimately, that's my mission. And going back, so I want to encourage people to definitely don't be afraid to have those conversations, even if it talks about, dark times of suicide or mental health
Yeah.
or depression. Um, and don't feel like you can't relate to them because you didn't go through those experiences.
Yeah.
You've gone through the emotions in some form or another. So connect to the emotion and just be present and heard. And like as you mentioned, being present and heard is a huge factor.
Yes, sir.
Um, I again, no experience in any of that. I've been very fortunate to have done over 150 suicide interventions
Wow.
um, through my bicycle journey and beyond. Um, and most of that is just being present. I used to not embrace my last name, and come to find out, I'm not even related to the people in that family with that last name, but I have embraced it now. I found out at 34 years old that I'm not related
Wow.
through a DNA
Wow.
test, but my last name's Hurd, and it's not spelled Heard, it's Hurd. But I carried a sign a lot on my bicycle journey, and I made it pink because it stuck out. People, even if you don't like pink, you always your eye catches it and you look.
Yeah.
So I had this pink sign and it said it's time to be heard. And so like I encourage people to be heard, and um, I used to be a way better listener. I still try as best I can be, but uh, enough accidents will mess up your thinking process sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. TBI is legit.
Hmm.
Yeah, that can derail some things, dude. What I love this the most about your story, Dan, is you started this thing off as a personal journey, and you had your personal reasons, but the opportunity presented itself as you started seeing signs and seeing and interacting with people. You recognized the power of what you're doing and how it was affecting others, and you embraced that, bro. I mean, you made the conscious choice. You could have easily not. You honestly could have easily not, but you did. And that speaks to the character of who you are, and what you just said of 150, at least. Dude, talk about bringing it forward. Like I said, people have their belief structure. This. I believe 100% in the Creator Himself, and this plan that He has laid out for you. It's not by mistake that you survived. It's not by mistake that you have this drive inside you. You're something special, dude, and He's using you as that vessel to keep that message flying, and I freaking love it. It's
See,
yeah,
so I'm also I found Christ and my higher power on my bicycle journey. I found
love
it
that.
while in 2018 in Ohio. Uh,
That's where they're keeping it these days.
that's where I found it,
Right?
or that's where
It's
I was visually taking the blinders off. But
love it.
I was in Ohio, and so as I was, it was a weird experience. We can talk about that if we ever do it another one. But
Yep. Oh, we
it was
will.
an amazing weird experience. Like going into becoming spiritual and having the thing happen was amazing. Another
Love
day,
it. Love it.
but
Yep.
so I'm on my bike journey. I was mentioning earlier. I was 3 days away from this accident that I'm having, and I'm thinking about all these things like make a stranger smile, and I'm asking God for myself. I'm like, God, I'm getting close to finishing this journey. Like, am I actually healed? Have I been healing? Have I been running away from suicide this whole time? Am I going to be suicidal? Do I not have, all the questions that start flooding somebody's brain?
Yeah.
Like, do I have purpose? Like, what am I doing after this? Like, am I stopping? Am I going to keep going? Like all those. And then 3 days later, I got hit by that car. Like, no joke.
Oh
And
my gosh,
uh,
bro.
the fact that I survived, I was put at fault for the accident. They threw away a lot of my equipment and didn't document it properly, and pretty much just assumed they didn't think I was going to survive. So they put me at fault and criminally, at least for the accident. And it was kind of a shocker when they found out I was alive. Um, So, and rightfully so, to be honest. Like 70 miles an hour is a fast speed. I was doing about 7 miles an hour when I was rear-ended. So when you think about that, I was rear-ended at like 63 miles an hour, roughly.
Good Lord, dude. Good Lord.
So in every like logical mindset, like people die in cars at 70 miles an hour.
People die at like 30 mile an hour. Yeah.
Like, never
Good
mind on
Lord.
a bicycle. Like you said, I was very fortunate. 7 months before this accident, I was convinced, uh, and I prayed about it. I said, God, if you want me to have a camper trailer, like get me the money for it because I don't have 2 grand to build it. And I put it on social media, and I had it the next day. So I was like, all right, God, I'm building this thing. I never
Wow.
wanted a trailer. I hated it. Like the mind, I got like this is, but it was the pandemic. This was 2020, so uh, prior to March of 2020, I was staying with people. People were hosting me. I was doing speeches across the country as I traveled at schools and churches and military bases. And
Wow.
Pretty much anywhere that I could have an opportunity to share my story and share my mission.
Yeah.
And that all ended in I did I did a speech at the military base in San Antonio, Texas. The day before that is the day, or like 3 days before that's the day that they took all those cruise ship people that had COVID and sent them to San Antonio for quarantine.
Oh
So I
my
was
gosh.
on the base with it. And and then I left San Antonio. I made my way to Del Rey, and that's when everything got serious. By the time I got to Del Rey, the grocery stores were empty. I was like, "Well, I'm in Texas. There's no way they're going to shut it down." Started making my way into the desert, and I made it to Sanderson, and I literally couldn't get water or food or anything to survive. And so I stopped my journey for 3 months and stayed in Alabama, where a family hosted me, and I left
Oh
my
my
bike in
gosh.
the desert at a nice lady's house that took care of my bike, and I left it there. And when I came back, it was still there, right where I left it.
Wow. Wow, that is crazy stuff. It's Ride with Dan USA, folks. Go over to Facebook. Go check this out. Ride with Dan USA. Tell us about the nonprofit here. Tell us exactly what you created and what it is that you do with the nonprofit right now.
Yeah, so right now the nonprofit is called the One Pedal at a Time Movement. For short, we call it OPAT. It's OPAAT movement. You can check that out at opatmovement.com, um, and OPAT movement on social media. But one pedal at a time, obviously, is the mantra that kind of saved my life. So I wanted to use that as like my focal point. Um, but our goal is to ultimately get people on bicycles. A lot of our focus nowadays is getting kids on bikes. Um, but ultimately, if anybody was to come up to us and say, "Hey, I just need to get out of my head and ride a bike," either we'll get them on a bike or we'll find a way to get them at least a used bike just to get them started.
Yep.
Um, but thankfully, we also have been fortunate enough at times to get people brand new bikes through our partnership with Priority Bicycles, which is a great belt drive bike company, and they make every type of bike now.
Love it.
They even have a full suspension. I'm going to try it out on Saturday. I'm excited.
No kidding. Full suspension in there?
Yeah,
Goodness.
so I actually own a full suspension belt drive bike, but it's from New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so the company that I'm hugely part of, at least a supporter of nowadays, they just came out with their version, and they're demoing out. So they'll be at Trestle Park this weekend in Colorado, demoing bikes.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Excited for it. But yeah, so we do that, and then we give out a lot of resources, not technically ours. We're just kind of the middleman that get the information out further. We do that with Living Works, an organization that does a lot of online training. So our focus as an organization, there's a lot of organizations already that exist that help people that are in crisis that haven't per se took the step to actually get to suicide. So there's a lot of organizations that exist to help those people, and there's a lot of organizations that already exist to help the person that has already tried and now is in the rebuilding stage. And I really wanted to make an impact, and I thought about it. I didn't find a lot of organizations that are doing community building, and so what our goal is to educate the community, to see the signs of somebody in their community that's struggling, and for that it takes a lot of like thinking about like when I initially started the organization, we tried to focus on adults.
Right. Right.
Uh, for 5 years, it was or 4 years, it was very difficult to get adults to unfortunately take this training because they're like, that's not going to happen to me or my community.
All right.
And sadly, I would hear back from those people a year or two later and be like, "Yeah, I'm ready to do that training now. Unfortunately, I lost somebody in my family, in my workspace, and in my school, whatever it is." Um, so like, as much as I feel like it helps that they are finally willing to do it, like I gotta find a way to get it more involved.
What you're
And
what you're talking about is that upstream prevention, right? You want to find a way to get that in there. That's yeah, that's a
and
tough deal.
perfect way to say upstream. So, we got our elderly people, we got our middle-aged people, and then we got our children, right? Teenagers and children. So I came up with that. I decided that my best course of action is, kids learn from adults. And as much as we don't like to admit it sometimes, we learn from kids.
Yeah, we do.
So, um, we learn how to be a better parent, better uncle, better person to be around them. We learn how to avoid situations that they can repeat because they taught us that this could happen that
Yep.
we never knew about, even though we probably did something similar, but now it's
Right.
more like technology advanced.
Right. Right.
So, just getting that involvement. And so our focus has become a lot in kids.
Love it.
Um, for elementary, middle school, and even maybe like ninth grade, depending on the age group. We focus on moods and emotions. We have a booklet that we use from DBSA, which is Depression Bipolar Syndrome Association. They have a great thing for mood. It's called the Mood Crew book.
The
And
mood
it's on
mood crew
mood
book.
emotions. Yeah, it's called Mood Crew. It's actually on our website. It's at the
Nice.
bottom of the website, and we have a PDF version for people to check out. And honestly, it's more focused on like 4 to 12-year-olds,
Nice.
but it has information for all of us.
Yep.
Even adults don't understand their emotions and moods fully,
Oh,
and so it
100%.
really allows that to help you build off of them and kind of process them properly, and to understand that being sad doesn't mean you have to be um, isolated or alone or depressed. Um,
So
Sad
important.
just is an emotion that you can process while still being involved in people and not having to put a fake face on and saying, I'm great. You know, no, I'm
Dude,
feeling a little shitty today.
mental health is at the heart. We are. If there's ever been a pandemic or an epidemic, it's right now. I believe across the world, but more specifically, 100% here in America right now. Mental health is suffering horribly on so many levels, and it has a lot. Right at the heart of it is just our society, the way it's been changed, the way where it's at right now. It's the cards are kind of stacked against you. So the fact that you guys at the OPAP movement are making these strides to get working with kids to help them get to a point where they can grow to manage this stuff and understand where it's at, bro, that's so huge. I mean, the domino effect of what you're doing. I mean, you feasibly are part of the machine that's going to help take care of some generations to come here, so that when we are old and gray, Dan, in a in a home, poking people with our cane, the people that are running the show at that point hopefully will be more mentally aware and astute and capable of handling things. That's critical stuff.
It is. And so with that, I've already had proof of it with some of these kids that have taken some of my practice courses. And high school students, we focus more on the Living Works program side of it, which educates you on how to help somebody that's in crisis. But between both of them, through elementary to high school, we're getting parents that are coming to do these courses and be involved in seeing the signs more because unfortunately living here in Colorado, we typically usually are like fifth or sixth in the highest rate of suicides for kids 14 to 24.
Wow,
So
that's horrible.
as much as my focus is to get this information to these kids so they can take it to their parents, it's also so they can be aware of, hey, Tommy's having a bad day today and he hasn't said a word. Maybe
Yeah.
one of us should go ask him, what's going on, Tommy?
Yep.
Something like that. And that's where it starts is by learning about yourself. Because if you understand your moods and emotions, then you can understand people's reactions a little bit easier and better. And not take it as personal because now it's not personal to you that they're acting angry. There's something else going on that maybe they just don't know how to process yet. And maybe you can help them guide through them that.
Emotionally mature, man. That is a huge, huge thing to be there. Brother Dan, you are a unique cat, man. You truly are. They broke the mold after you, and I'm glad because it allows you to be right where you're at. Dude, we had such a blast when we went out fishing there. Just to hear your take on things. I've had a chance, and I'm going to say this and kind of wrap things up here with this. This is the other part that I love. I don't know if it's still where you're at, but looking through your Facebook stuff, there were a couple pictures that I saw there where you and I look at things maybe a little different, right? And I can see that from the pictures. And it meant absolutely nothing to me as far as what I'm talking about is like world affairs or these sort of things, certain organizations, this sort of thing. And it meant absolutely nothing to me because I'm like, I don't care. That means nothing to me. I know who he is as a person. I know what he does out there, and I know the positive impact. So you can like pistachio. I'll like chocolate ice cream. Doesn't matter. You are a person that I absolutely want to work with further. I'm looking forward to you and I finding ways that we can sit around and just spiffball this stuff, dude, and figure out ways we can connect with more people because I know I'm going to be able to learn a ton from you, man, on what you've done out there. And it's if knowing you, there's going to be some other adventure. This Burning Man thing, dude, I'm going to be watching this close. You take care of your body first off, dog.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
right?
For sure. So I ran to Boulder to get a massage. It was a great massage.
Oh, I bet.
It hurt, but in the best ways possible.
Yeah, dude, that's very, I don't know if you could have said anything more bolder than that. I ran 15 miles to get a massage.
I did, yeah.
I love that.
It was great. So I'm looking forward to it. I plan on doing this one and only race. I don't plan on becoming a runner. My knees, like the rest of my body, feels pretty good with it. My knees don't.
These are like, what in the hell are you doing?
Yeah, enough reconstructive surgery. They're just tolerating me, but I also feel like they're getting stronger as well. So, it's a give and take.
For
But I
sure.
think that's with anything. Everything in life, there's a give and take to it. So sometimes you have to give up certain things to build up new things that
Love it.
are going to be beneficial in your life. And last thing I want to leave with you guys for everybody that sees this and makes it all the way to the end.
Right?
It's important to go out and try new things. Go out there. Like I resisted riding bicycles for 4 or 5 years. I could have potentially avoided 2 of my suicide attempts if I had just listened to my friend offer me a bicycle and offered me an opportunity. But I was blinders on, stubborn, high nose up, and thought I was above and beyond that sport, that activity, that adventure, that thing. So I encourage you to say yes more often. You don't have to say yes to everything. Be mindful, but go try new activities. Go try activities that maybe you haven't tried in 10, 15, 20 years. You may
Like
find a love for it.
kayak fishing.
Like kayak fishing. I went one time and I already got a license to go again. So you never
Hell
know.
yes.
So it's just a matter of time to be able to go out there and just be open. Like I said, Gene, I filled that spot because nobody else wanted to for that meeting that we were at together. And I wanted to see this program of yours with in affiliation with the IBW
Yeah.
grow and become stronger. And I didn't see that happening unless those spots were filled. So I stepped away from my fears of associating alcohol with fishing and temptation and took that opportunity. And I had a great time.
I
I
hope
had so much fun.
I
Especially with
hope
those
you
motors, brother.
right? The electric motors. I hope you understand how much that means to us, dude, to hear you say those things, that you attack that head on, and went after that to get this going. Again, it's you're a leader, dude. That's just all the way. I mean, you lead from the front, and that is such a key attribute to have, of blazing a path forward so that somebody else can come in behind, and reap the rewards and the benefits. Yeah, dude, we had such a blast that day. That was an awesome trip for the first one out for Stanley Lake, and first one for this year for IBEW. Getting out with us. Actually,
you've done other ones with IBW, but this is the first of 68.
Yep, first for the 68. That was awesome, and hopefully we're gonna get at least one or two more each month in while the season's going, because we've got the bandwidth to do it, and the season goes up until the end of September. So let's seize it while we can. We don't get much time on the water out here. They close us off from a lot of the good waters. So
I'm glad we're getting rain to have water.
Exactly. I'm loving it. Well, I got to tell you, I drive, 6 hours south to New Mexico. Conscious Reservoir is at capacity because they've been having record rainfall down there. So we're getting rain all around us. It's just we're sitting in a little dust bowl up here right now, but hopefully that goes. Hey, I want to ask you, put you on the spot here. Will you come back on the show? I would love to have you come on and dig into some, maybe a little bit more specific topic stuff that affects nonprofits and the mental health side. Would you be willing, if your schedule allows, dude, will you come back on the show and dig into that with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be interesting and fun.
Sweet.
I think we'd have to, for that one, I think we'd have to kind of plan it a little bit better.
Yep.
In terms of what we want to talk about.
I'll give you lots of notice about the topic, and we'll, as far as what we want to focus on and try to shed light on for folks.
Absolutely.
But yeah, dude, your experience in your area, that would be a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, like I said, I have very fortunate life experience. I've been very fortunate through doing this work that I've connected with a lot of qualified people and people that are also just as passionate about saving lives as I am. So although it's as you know, you're very fortunate to have a second person doing all your wife's a very good partnership for you.
She's amazing, dude.
Otherwise, you'd be a one-man team, it sounds like.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Well, as far as when it comes to the behind the scenes, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I'm 100% on my own. I'm always looking for people to be more involved and be part of the organization with board members and things like that. So. Dude. Always something that I'm trying to grow, but right now it's a one-man fight, kind of like we were talking about earlier, being isolated. It's rough, it sucks, but I know my mission, I know my goals, and as you know, just from our conversations,
that's right.
Once I'm on something, I'm not letting go of it, and everything I've done in the last 4 years since finishing my bicycle journey is leading towards the next step of my evolution for my organization and for programs and things to actually become more concreted into place.
I love it.
Yeah. I look forward to our next conversation.
Hell yeah, dude.
About the organization.
Dude, I can't. Yeah, we're going to be doing some stuff. I know that for a fact. We're going to follow up with this stuff. So hang with me here as I roll the show out here. Stick with me, and then we'll close it out there after there. Dan, brother Dan, love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on here and spreading your mission here with us and telling us your stories, sharing so much personal stuff in here. We feel very fortunate to hear this stuff, and I know we could probably go on for the next 3 hours. So that means I can see another 3, 4, 5 podcasts that we're going to have you on here, and we'll dig into other stuff from there.
Well, yeah, I did 22,000 plus miles on one bicycle journey.
Right? And we only talked about like 2 states, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you so much, man. Folks at home, make sure, get over at Facebook here. Follow Ride with Dan USA. You heard him also. If you're into biking or if you're into nonprofit work here in the Colorado area, get a hold of Dan. He can use the help out there if you want to find a mission that's worth getting a hold of. Go check out opatmovement.com as well. That's one pedal at a time is what that stands for. On Facebook, you'll find them at OPAATM, one paddle at a time. Go follow them over there. If you got any questions, hit Dan up. Throw the comments in here. Those of you that were watching live with us out there, I know we're broadcasting on like 7 different channels. So if I didn't see your comment, it's possible I'm not seeing it coming through on that. I will get to those comments. I go through and check back on those after the fact. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you're tuning in after the fact and listening to this on the audio or picking it up on the recording, we love you as well. If you have questions or comments, throw them in there. I'll make sure Dan gets them. I'll get them over to him if they come through there. So, as usual, folks, you know the routine on this stuff. Wait a minute. Let's double check next Sunday. What do we have going on calendar? Let's pull this thing up. So next Sunday, next Sunday we'll be coming back from Milford Lake, Kansas. From the PBKS event over there in Milford Lake, working with in conjunction with the Kansas Kayak Anglers. That one's being sponsored by ACA Paddle Sports. That's the organization that gives us our insurance and does a ton for the paddle sport community out there. And LL Bean, that organization that helps secure that funding for us for this deal. So we'll be coming back. We'll do a recap on that next Sunday. All right, Brother Dan, I'm going to take her out of here. Any last message that we didn't cover? Are you good?
I'm good. I appreciate the time. I had
Awesome.
a great time with it.
Awesome, dude. All right, folks, you know the deal. Tight lines, be safe, take care of each other, and God bless.